Sarah's life completely changed after giving birth to triplets with dark skin. Her husband felt betrayed. Without a second thought, he kicked her out of the house the moment he saw the newborns. He refused to claim the children as his own. In the years that followed, Sarah faced countless problems. But what she didn't know was that an unexpected turn was waiting for her. It started like a calm morning, until a commotion outside the hospital shattered the peace. James was outside, aggressively unloading bags and suitcases from his car. The noise startled everyone. Security guards rushed over trying to calm him, but he wouldn't listen. He broke free, stormed through the hospital entrance, and searched for Sarah's room. When he found it, he slammed the door open and threw all her bags onto the floor. Guards restrained him, but not before he shouted a shocking accusation. He accused Sarah of cheating with another man and trying to pass off another man's children as his. Both he and Sarah were white, so the birth of black triplets made no sense to him. He declared their marriage over and walked away, leaving all of Sarah's belongings scattered on the floor. The bags had all of Sarah's belongings. He didn't care how she felt after giving birth. He didn't want anything to do with her. Sarah laid in her bed, weak and recovering. She felt devastated. She couldn't believe he was kicking her out in this state, and when the children actually needed a father. James had been with her the entire time, but left as soon as he saw the 3 dark-skinned newborns. She didn't know what he had gone for. Sarah thought they could talk through once she recovered a bit, but she found herself abandoned in the hospital with no one to seek comfort from. Days passed. Sarah called him over and over, but he never picked up. He'd shut her out completely. She knew in her heart she had been faithful. It was unheard of for 2 white parents to have black triplets, but that didn't mean she'd been unfaithful. Now there was no way to explain. In her desperation, she called her only sister Savannah, who took her side with no hesitation. Savannah had never imagined such a happy marriage would come to an end just because of newborns. However, she supported her sister unconditionally. Savannah helped her sister pack all the belongings and took them to her apartment. She paid all the remaining bills at the hospital. Being an undergraduate, Savannah was already taking a lot of toll herself. Despite everything, she made sure her sister and the triplets were well nourished. Sarah was shattered. She healed physically, but the emotional wounds were deep. She hoped to uncover the truth and he would return to her. Each day passed by waiting for his call or text. And just when she began to believe time might soften James's anger, her world crumbled again. She received a notification from their bank. James had withdrawn all the money from the joint account, which Sarah had worked hard to save. This was just not abandonment. He was set to ruin her life as well. First, he kicked her out. Then he took her peace, and now her only backup. She immediately reported it to the police, but they failed to pin his location. He fled to another state. Sarah was hopeless this time, left to pick up all the broken pieces herself. Even though she was broke, she refused to let anything break her spirit. She sold off her wedding ring, gathered enough money to rebuild her life in a small apartment. Savannah helped her set all the things required. Despite obstacles, she was determined to give the best life for her children. She found a job in a restaurant as a dishwasher, took on multiple shifts to ensure her children lacked nothing. Savannah dropped by every day to take care of the babies. The work hours left her tired, but nothing could stop a determined mother. The triplets grew healthily. Life seemed to stabilize until the triplets turned 6. Then a new nightmare arrived at their doorstep silently. Small notes displaying threatening graphics and threats written. The notes called her a cheater and warned of terrible consequences. At first, the notes were only in a few quantities, but soon the numbers multiplied. Savannah and Sarah were terrified. She knew it was James's doing. Still, they couldn't reach him. Fearing for her children's safety, she reported the incident to police, still continuing to threaten her life from distance even after all these years. In order to ensure everyone's safety, Sarah paid the guards extra to keep an eye on who was coming and going. She was busy preparing for her upcoming promotion and maintained her normalcy not to worry her children. A few days later, she nailed the interview and secured the promotion. The new promotion meant more salary, more budget, and better education for her children. But just as everything seemed to be going well, her nightmare turned into reality. One late evening, one of the children handed her a notebook. The small one said one uncle requested he give it to his mom. It sent chills to her spine. She opened it. Inside it was written, no matter where she would run off to, he would always find her. Sarah wanted to call the police, but it never worked. So she decided to stay silent. Fear was always there, like a shadow Sarah couldn't shake. But she knew what she had to do. To keep her family safe, she had to leave. Get far away from James no matter the cost. And the cost? It was her new job. That promotion she'd worked so hard for. It hurt deep down, leaving it behind. But for her kids, it was worth it. Telling the triplets broke her heart. They were not ready to leave their friends. They packed up and moved to a new city. Starting over felt impossibly heavy. But Sarah found work, something to keep them going. Slowly, they built a new home. And slowly, Sarah had no more nightmares. She healed slowly but progressively. Years went by. On the triplets' 10th birthday, Sarah threw them a huge celebration. It was pure joy, celebrating how far they had all come. Then the door flew open. James stood there. He looked broken, like life had finally crushed him. Words tumbled out. Apologies, pleas for forgiveness, a desperate wish to be part of their lives, to fix everything he'd shattered. Sarah froze. Was this real? But the raw regret in his eyes felt true. He confessed something huge. He'd discovered his own roots traced back to Africa. The children's skin wasn't a betrayal. It was his hidden history finally showing itself. He admitted the terrible lie. He knew the kids were his all along. He used their birth as an excuse to leave, to blame Sarah, to steal their money and run. Life hadn't been kind. When his new lover left him after the money was spent. And then he thought of wanting to blackmail Sarah. But he finally saw what he'd thrown away. Sarah's love, his children. He crawled back, begging. Looking at him, Sarah felt the old anger rise. The memory of being abandoned, weak when she needed him the most. The years of terror from his threats. The utter wreck he made of her world. Forgiveness? Maybe, somewhere deep down, she could find it. Letting go of that burning hate felt possible. But trust? Letting him in? Sarah forgave him, but letting him in her life was not an option. James turned and left. Sarah called the police. He was found, arrested. The constant fear that had haunted her for years finally lifted. She could breathe. Her focus was crystal clear. Her children, safety, and happiness. The truth could wait until the kids turned mature enough. She'd built a good life from the ruins he left, thanks to a mother's unwavering strength. Their future, finally bright, belonged only to them. Check out our other stories. You might like them. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that remind us of the kindness still alive in this world. Tell us in the comments, do you feel Sarah was right to forgive him? Did she do the right thing handing him to the police? If you were in Sarah's place, would you forgive him for the sake of the children or protect them by cutting all ties? Do you believe people can truly change after years of causing harm? Comment your thoughts down below. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.